and welcome to the King and Queen of the Ring preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another dolly boy, Wilbourn Hamflett from WhatCulture, to look ahead to this weekend's King and Queen of the Ring premium live event. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we review Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0.
Wing!
AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete. And a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett to look ahead to this weekend's King and Queen of the Ring PLE. But I suppose before we get there, and due to the annoying nature of our holidays falling as they are,
I'm so annoyed.
we have to sort of do a bit of a SmackDown preview. So I suppose technically we should stick with tradition. That was for SmackDown.
Yeah, you've got to make that clear, obviously. Yeah. This is... what if people are finding this show as they're just looking for some premium live event preview, analysis and fodder and don't realise that it's been infected by our SmackDown coverage?
Well, sure they're about to find out, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess we're covering SmackDown. So
if they've watched it with the serious journalistic integrity of our NXT review the other day.
I do not know what you're talking about there. Well, hang on, but we can put our hands together on this one, can't we? Because, like, this obviously, we're going to get SmackDown in a second. It's a Jeddah doubleheader. But the fact that there's going to be a new King and Queen crowned, there's been some fantastic ones in the past, hasn't it? Like Bret the Hitman Hart won the first pay-per-view one in 1993. Steve Austin's career changed forever, even when he refused to don the crown. Going right back to the 80s, of course, there was the Macho King Randy Sausage. Like, there is such a... I know you did. I couldn't decide how many people to list.
Yeah.
I was like, should I just break the rule of three and just keep going? Mabel was there.
I genuinely think this year's King and Queen of the Ring, if it goes the way that I've booked it, are sensational.
And it might do. Like, what a turn of events where it's only speculation on our part, but like WWE have decided to get the PR out that like, everyone's fine with Tiffany Stratton, and then seemingly punishment booked to the very same day.
Yeah.
Which has forced WWE's hand on the side of the bracket, which leads us to SmackDown, which we're about to cover now, and Nia Jax being a step away from the final. But then when you kind of when it was Lyra Valkyria and Jade Cargill, we also that would have been Jade's winning. Jade's going all the way. When it was potentially like Tiffany Stratton even making it, because there was that she was one of the ones who had the photoshopped Saudi Arabia gear that had people thinking it could be her. You'd have been thinking, probably Tiffany. So at no point have you really given Lyra Valkyria a chance. She, of course, does have a chance, and we'll get to that too. But each time, it's felt like Lyra Valkyria versus the tournament winner. And now, potentially ready to step into that tournament winning spot is Nia Jax.
Yes.
It's strange how this has all gone.
I very nearly asked you there, because I was like thinking of the recent instances of Kings and Queens of the Ring. Like, obviously, we had King Xavier Woods.
Yep.
Brilliant song that he got with it.
He did.
Doesn't get enough love. King Corbin.
Yeah.
And I was like, who was Queen of the Ring last? And I remembered it was Queen Zelina, of all people.
You just remembered that?
Yeah. I genuinely forgot that for a second. But yeah, before we get to who gets crowned, like you say, we've got the semi-finals to deal with. Randy Orton, Tama Tonga on SmackDown on Friday night. How do you see this one going? Because I think, had it been Jey Uso beating Gunther, you only see it going one way. There's an argument that Tama makes this, but I think the general consensus appears to be a Randy Orton-Gunther final. Do you agree?
I do. Randy Orton-Gunther is a really intriguing final in light of the type of performer Randy Orton has evolved into since returning at the Survivor Series. Literally, I think from the moment he arched his back and stared down that lens with that glint in his eye, we were like, is Orton goated? Like, I think finally I get what all those Twitter engagements accounts have been saying about him for 20 years. So it's probably the perfect time for Randy Orton to be fighting Gunther. Based on last week's SmackDown, to get him there, if I can use a bit of wrestling parlance, I say it's going to be a cowardly pussy-ass bitch finish. Bloodline just beat him up. DQ, disqualified King, too much ass, whatever. I don't think... I don't think they're beating Tama Tonga. Maybe they will. I would like if last week's SmackDown hadn't happened, I'd have sat here and honestly sort of just sold people on the idea that Tama Tonga, in his biggest win to date, pins Randy Orton tragically with that terrible self-rock bottom. What a week to roll out the gunstun this would be, though. Like, oh, you know your move. I got one of them too. Like maybe he's a lot.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
because obviously he's not. We assume that he's not been able to do it because the RKO's there, and it's like, well, tough, mate. Like it began to use this Orton Hogan comparison to keep going back to. It would be like rolling into the Fed in the 80s and being like, oh, I've got to kill a leg drop. Have you, mate? Well, come up with something brand new. So like, I suppose they could do a gunstun, shock the world. Orton beat him with his own finisher, and that builds to more matches down the line. Orton should have, last week when he said, I'm not scared of this new bloodline, I'm ready to take you out, and the idea is, no, you should be. These are a serious threat. But after last week's SmackDown, the way they kind of arrived at that LA Knight finish, I just don't see it. I need telling, again, by the booking, that this current bloodline aren't just goons, aren't just your kind of common or garden heel running buddies with one guy at the front who just happens to be Tama Tonga from Home Alone. Like, I need to be told to commit to these as dangerous men again. And to do that would be Tama beating Orton and almost shocking him. And I don't think they'll do that. I think it'll be a beatdown. You've pitched quite a nice, in my head, it looks quite nice, of a big, chaotic multi-man, something along the lines of an Anarchy in the Arena type brawl, where you've got the new bloodline against four, depending on how many they are by then, 4 or 5 baby faces that want to put a stop to them before they get out of control like the last one did. I like that as a concept because you give the bloodline the win and then you've really established them as a devastating stable. And I think you probably do that by putting Orton at an like numerical disadvantage here. They beat him down, they kick his ass. Perhaps they're running after Orton, just hits an RKO out of nowhere. Looks like he might roll over and get the cover, so the bloodline rush the ring, beat him up. Match is thrown out. Orton's made it to the final, but he's left with so many injuries. I said this to you, like, I want him going in. Remember when, it was very sad, like when Eddie Guerrero passed away, so Batista, like, stayed wrestling, even though he was, like, supremely injured.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he was just coming out looking like a mummy, basically.
Yeah,
It was like the extreme of tape it up and go. Like, if you can gimmick it so that Orton's got to come out with, like, his upper body taped up to sell, because the bloodline have kicked his ass, and then you've got Gunther's shot. Like, there's, like, Gunther targets that anyway, but now you've just put, like, a flashing red glow on Orton's chest. I think that's a nice little story for the King of the Ring final. It also plays to, like, Austin's win in 96. He was beating up Jake Roberts, who was, like, supremely injured. There's another one that I can't summon. It was, no, it won't come to me. There'll be another one. There's a King of the Ring final where, like, again, somebody just has an easy advantage. I think William Regal maybe got a bye one round. It was Jeff Jarrett smashing the living out of the 1-2-3 kid and Owen Hart having easy street in the semi-final. But, like, this is a cool tournament device of having a heel have an advantage, even though it's supposed to be, like, you know, what they've endured across all these rounds.
Chopping through the tape would be class, obviously. As regularly happens, I have far more faith in WWE than you. I think Randy Orton wins on SmackDown, gets the pinfall victory. I think Kevin Owens returns. I think they're doing their usual bloodline 2.0 more like, doing their, he's going to cheat again. And maybe LA now, it's like, they did this to me last week. They can't do it again, can they? Or it is just, as simple as Solo's told Paul Heyman or who, you know, whatever, however you want to work this, Tonga Loa or whatever. I'm not going to go out there, but sort it out. Get it done as per the tribal chief or whatever.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens comes out, and then all the distraction of, like, bloody hell, Kevin Owens here, and he's stunnering everybody. RKO out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3. Because I don't think you need an injured Randy Orton. And arguably, if you want to protect Orton somewhat in the final, just have Solo come down and interfere in the final. You know, the one moment where it looks like, Jesus, maybe Gunther's going to lose again? Like, he lost at Mania, he's going to lose here. But the split second that either Solo does something or just even appears or whatever it may be, I mean, Gunther has to be King of the Ring for me. Randy Orton's his best opponent. We booked basically Randy versus Gunther early start of 2024 as like he's someone you buy as potentially worryingly beating Gunther. You know, like, Sammy was far better in terms of the right person to end that streak as IC champion.
Yeah.
But people 100% would buy at WrestleMania. Okay, out of nowhere. Thanks for coming. See you later.
I the one thing that I just can't visualize yet, considering that his matches, like his singles matches, are going to be more of a struggle than people probably want to admit. I just think pinning Tama Tonga this early is...
You're going to make him into a tag team relatively soon.
Yeah.
You do this, you set up a multi-man for, let's say, Clash at the Castle. That's where you debut Jacob Fatu. Boom, you got Gorillas of Destiny, Solo doing the sort of Roman, I don't really wrestle. I just come in and hit Simone Spikes. And this other monster.
The real deal, really.
Yeah. And Tama can do tag stuff.
I back it. I really do. I back it. I'd rather the committed booking. I'd rather sort of like a finish with some conviction.
Yeah.
We said, like, it was 2 weeks. What annoyed me about last week's SmackDown is that I was kind of made a fool of, because it was after the Raw where we spoke about how these King of the Ring brackets forced their own hand to beat people. Dragging off Jey Uso was the best example, wasn't it? It's like, wow, this is happening now. It's okay for Ilya Dragunov to get beat in his current position, and it sets up a pretty cool rematch because they've made wins and losses matter. And then, like, last week's SmackDown sort of betrayed that a bit for me, but I would like them to revert. Like, if what you're pitching happens, I'm all for it, because I would much rather see Tama Tonga get pinned and them test themselves and be like, right, he's just lost, but we can be creative and we can show flair in immediately getting him back to where he was.
He lost in the semis to Randy Orton.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I don't think one of our little low-key favourites of late, Carmelo Hayes, suffered from losing to Randy Orton. Or Cody Rhodes, for that matter. He's having a run that I didn't anticipate thus far. So, again, wins and losses, they matter in the grand scheme of things, because AEW proved this in 2019 and 2020, because the losses become just as important to the wrestlers when they get onto winning ways. So, I would love them to go with that. I don't know, I feel a bit burned after last week, so we'll see.
Have faith. Let it play out, mate.
Go on, then I will. You're right. Market leader for a reason.
Queen of the Ring, meanwhile.
Market leader for loads of reasons. We've got Dynamite review coming soon. That was good this week.
Nia Jax outsmarted Jade Cargill in a sensational 2 minutes 37 seconds match.
Off. You seen the thumbnail for that?
No.
They're leaning in. It's Nia, it's the botch. Just the botch. Because it looks like a chair about to hit her head, and they realise, we can't do that anymore. Like, we can't. Like, it's they're sort of in the grey area, aren't they? Like, oh, that's head trauma if we book it. But if it's an accident because their clothes says, get it on YouTube. And what we're going to do is stick a yellow arrow on it, and we get our.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But yes, the soon-to-be Queen Nia taking on.
All right, I'm back.
Taking on Bianca Belair. But surely, obviously, Bianca Belair, multiple-time world champion, main event star, crossover talent, just brilliant athlete, surely can beat Nia Jax. I mean, unless she's got some sort of weakness, an injury perhaps going into this. Yes. And then she might need a bit of luck.
Do you know what I want here? I'll tell you what I want here.
Tell me what you want. Tell me what you really, really want.
I want... Oh, God, you just reminded me that I'm saying Girls Aloud.
I was trying to work in some Girls Aloud stuff.
Spiritual successes of the Spice Girls this weekend. I really want that. Which means I'll have to watch King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring later, obviously, because I'll be watching the Queens of the Stage.
Oh.
And the Kings, actually. Cribs the night before. What a great weekend before Sunday. Nah, I'm joking.
I'm going to sit in a field.
We're all having a good time. What are you up to this weekend, Nicholas?
He's going to see Furiosa.
Yes, that's right. Which I believe, right? AEW were inspired by that. Like, there was a sort of Mad Maxian element to Darby Allin getting out of the car with a flamethrower.
Yes.
Like,
They did do a poster on Twitter that was inspired by Mad Max as well.
Co-promotion. Synergy. No, I think they just robbed it. Yeah, probably just nicked it.
Shout out to Brian Weddig, by the way, for his grand bay out. I forgot to mention that the other day.
Oh, that was amazing.
Adam Cole with the wrong trousers on.
You're under arrest, Mr. Wilbourn. She's dead. This match, I want Nia to control it, obviously, target the leg. I want to see stuff like the old school stuff, like pull her into the post at ringside and slam that knee against the steel post, all that kind of thing. Then I want Bianca's comeback to tease her being able to get Nia up for the KOD, only for the knee to buckle. And then Nia drag her into the corner and do the annihilation on the knee rather than on Bianca's chest. Vader did the Vader bomb to Yokozuna's leg in their Raw match in '96. It was mainly to set up a cruel bit in which Yokozuna had to be stretched out on a forklift. But the spot...
Sounds good.
I'll show you what I'm going to say. It's pretty good. But the joke was on WWE because both Yoko and Vader were sent to like a weight loss camp, and they snuck out at midnight with the KFC.
I remember that. I've heard that one before.
But yeah, so they have like Yokozuna sort of diagonal, and if you picture the Vader bomb, obviously, it's like that's your whole body coming down the leg, like just that bonsai motion on a knee, and like Bianca screaming in pain, and that's how Nia gets
draped over the ropes as well.
That sort of stuff.
Oh!
Yeah, love it. I think they've put themselves in a good position. I still think maybe we're like holding on to something here, but the whole lore of this knee injury is Candice LeRae, isn't it?
Yep.
And there's a tag title match that exists off the back of this.
Plus, you've got Shayna Baszler waiting.
That's right, yeah. So I'd forgotten all about that as well. So you've got two sets of challenges. You've got a submission specialist from Raw. You've got the person that caused the injury sat on SmackDown with Indy Hartwell, kind of waiting to do something. It's decent storytelling, whilst Nia Jax, who inflicts further pain on Bianca, has now got afters with Jade because they've got unfinished business.
She knows her weakness. That's her, her daughter's her.
Yeah, I honestly do like how there's like.
It probably was the right decision doing a DQ in the Nia Jax Jade Cargill match. You're probably saying
stop this, but it's a good spiderweb otherwise.
Would you say it's, if you're going to do alliteration, would you say it's a sentence I'm not allowed to say apparently? The E sometimes, not this one.
Oh God, yeah. There's loads more of that in the Fed than AEW. Jesus Christ, like. That's why it's not 2021 anymore, mate.
But yeah, in terms of the final, like you say, the fairy tale story of like Lyra Valkyria gets drafted and immediately comes in, already has a friendship with Becky Lynch and does the run all the way through and becomes Queen of the Ring. It's some of this, what is going on up there?
I never know, man. But I do this time. She's going to break Lyra Valkyria's face. She's going to punch her in the face.
Oh
my God.
We've done it. We've completed it. You are welcome, the Fed. You don't need our ideas, but there's one for free.
I like that.
Punches her in the face. And it's like law in it.
Yeah. Smash your beak.
Early bird gets the worm. Smash your beak.
As the crow dies.
Oh, yeah. Other bird puns. Peregrine Fall gone.
Phrase is good.
Yes.
Nice.
Can't think of any more.
I
don't know many birds. Ewan would be good in this. He's told me that he's like really enjoys like watching the birds in his garden and stuff. And he turned to me once and said, "I'm like, you'll get to the point where you reach your. I'm just going to stop you right there, Ewan. I can close the curtains and get some crisps, please." That's Ewan Patterson, by the way, of WhatCulture, also of this parish. Got any more bird?
Bird in the hand is worth, and then I'm struggling.
Where's this going, Stacks? I mean, Wilbourn.
Bird in the hand
is worth one in the mush.
There we go.
Anything in Sparrow?
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Queen Nia.
Number one.
Number one.
See, thank you to those that have shared it, because we get a lot of Undertaker podcast pull quotes now where people tag us and say, "I can only hear this in the voice of the dead man," which I love. But he's like done a Blue Chew ad.
I've seen that, yeah.
But like he's getting further. So it started with like thumbnail faces. Ah, Yoko, that pump really stinks. Like it's gone on to like him running out of his 3 stories about drinking Jack Daniels. So he's actually having to dig into the well of like tales now. It's like, Michelle kind of thought I was a dumbass old like there. And now he's reached the point where he's like, I've spent a lot of my career playing an old stiff, and I've become one, and that's because of Blue Chew.
You gotta keep that reputation up, if you know what I mean.
Dead man only plays with one bone these days, and that's thanks to Blue Chew. Huh? We're not sponsored by them. I'd like it to be sponsored by the Oyo Hotel and Casino, Las Vegas.
What the hell's a blue cane? Blue Chew, am I right?
Ever heard of it?
I'm just looking at
Shale, get my Blue Chew. We're going to Sexer's Court. When you want to give that dick of yours a choke slam.
Birds of a feather flock to Jeddah.
Yeah, that's the completed it. This is still a sports washing PLE,
Yes.
which we've contributed to.
Apologies.
No, you don't need to apologise. We've covered half this podcast. I said the double header in Jeddah because I like things that rhyme.
I do too. Who do you think is going to be Queen of the Ring then? Because there is like
Nia Jax, like I'm sod it, like
yes.
you have become everything you ever could have dreamed of. Because basically at this point, when it comes to your predictions, I can dread them, I can run from them.
Yes.
Nah, Nia Jax, why not? Like I've really enjoyed the Lyra Valkyria story. I think this push on Raw has been tremendous. I think her and Becky Lynch suffering big defeats on the same night is a nice little story.
Oh yeah.
As they've got to they've both having their wings clipped on the same
Like
evening.
Icarus, she will fly too close to the sun.
Exactly, that's what Liv Morgan will say when they set up the Liv Morgan Lyra Valkyria post King and Queen.
Nia Jax tag team.
Oh my God.
Nia can do one of her terrible jokes, and Liv Morgan can go like weird laugh she does.
Live and let Nia.
Versus Wings.
We don't charge for this, you know.
I know,
Not
it's
yet.
absolutely amazing, isn't it? Just like we're going to have to start cutting bits out of these podcasts, putting them specifically behind a paywall.
Yeah.
And then returning to the normal, and people are like, what have we just missed?
Anyway, a few other things to deal with before we get to the rest of the King and Queen of the Ring PLE matches.
Okay.
Because AJ Styles is going to have a meeting with the SmackDown GM. Can't remember what his name is.
Stay tuned.
And Bailey's also meeting with, I think, Chelsea Green. Sorry, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green.
Yeah, it's not a three-way match, it's a three-way meeting, isn't it?
Yes.
2 meetings have been set up on a specific edition of SmackDown that has required the wrestlers to fly halfway around the world.
Yeah.
Can we start setting up our meetings in a function room at the Oyo Hotel and Casino just as an excuse to fly there or something? This
for
is
me.
weird old booking.
Yeah.
But what we are tracking, more importantly, I think, if it's not a meeting, if it's not just a promo segment for next week's SmackDown, I think this could be an impromptu match. I think they all might meet up in their wrestling gear, and then the general manager, can't remember his name, just comes out and says, well, while you're out here, and why don't you give the people what they want? Let's have a match right now. And Bailey gets the win, potentially over Chelsea Green, but it allows them to do a Bailey Piper Niven thing as a TV program, possibly. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But in the meantime, AJ Styles meeting up with the SmackDown GM, can't remember his name, has wider implications on our AJ Styles versus Naomi, who's booked better challenge. Still won't give it a more catchy name than that, because nothing for Naomi on the SmackDown, right?
Not as far as I've seen.
Coming out of Backlash, France, they're giving AJ something, but what? What's he after?
I say he's going to stop. I think he might fight Nick, the SmackDown GM, whatever his name is. I almost remembered it, and then I forgot it again as I was saying it.
Relitigating old Impact Wrestling issues, do you think? Possibly. AJ Styles. Who else is on the roster at the moment? So LA Knight, we think, is moving into something with Logan Paul.
Long term, yes, although mellow in the interim.
AJ can't fight Cody again.
God, no.
It's too soon for a babyface turn, to sort of aid the pushing back of the bloodline.
They could do, you know how, although that's more on the PLA than on the
PLA.
PLA. Mercedes is back in the ring this weekend. So,
Oh, yeah.
they could do a thing where he's like, I need a match to get myself back on track. SmackDown GM. And they just do random celebrity appearances.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Maybe that's what they do.
Oh, yeah. Random celebrity or AJ Styles angry. He's basically had to fly himself over there to get a meeting, furiously not being on the card, and then somebody beats him up.
He's had to fly himself around the world.
Which confuses him at the best of times.
What?
Round. He's watching that little map on the plane.
It's so goddamn high I saw the curvature of the earth. What the hell's that all about?
It's ringing that buzzer on the plane. Excuse me, stewardess. Would you like another drink, Mr. Styles? No. Why is that line not straight? Watching the little plane thing. Also
What's the
working.
problem with this window?
Also working. I set up my Jaguar.
You know, they could actually genuinely have appear on this show. They've got one Paul brother. Either him or his opponent for the boxing match, which I think goes down in July. Nicholas, any ideas? Jake Paul Mike Tyson is 20th of July at AT&T Stadium. Remember it? Ever heard of it?
Never forget it, man. What a place.
The brisket.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah, different experiences.
A tale of two WrestleManias, that, isn't it? I was going to say, so, you've triggered a memory there. So, celebrity special guest appearance, somebody that could logistically still be there. Tyson Fury?
Ooh.
He's still kicking around, maybe? Like, they've used him before for these Saudi shows.
Yeah, he fought
He's big into
Usyk last weekend.
Big into the sort of sports washing project. He would have no problem going in there and knocking out AJ and AJ being sort of embarrassed by it and, like... Tyson himself?
Yeah, I was going to say Tyson was going to be my suggestion of, like, Jake's there to support his brother and Tyson's there to twat. Doesn't have to necessarily be AJ, I suppose. That can be completely unrelated. Maybe
Could knock him out, though. That could be a spot, couldn't it? Tyson knocking somebody out.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, they've...
I mean, he'll miss by a country mile because there's no way they're going to risk costing themselves this preposterous fight.
Like AJ just goes for a Pele kick and Tyson just stands back and then punches him square in the face. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's say AJ Styles taking on a random celebrity or local big name or something like that and getting punked out.
So, and the Bailey thing, Chelsea Green said Bailey was the reason Piper Niven lost. Why? It was Jade Cargill, wasn't it? I mean, that's the reason why Piper Niven lost.
Yeah. What are we missing there?
Let me try and remember what happened.
I don't know.
My memory was a fun match, to be fair, between Piper and Jade.
Yeah. It's not about, like...
Did they have a backstage...
I can't remember.
Tete-a-tete?
Because Bailey's just been having these backstage segments where she's sort of been rocking up and being like, yeah, I'm watching, and nothing's being set up for her.
Oh, yeah, they interrupted... they interrupted a Bailey interview saying we were going to kick Jade Cargill's ass.
That's it. She's like, Bailey gets so little at the moment creatively that she's often just reduced to being backstage, looking on, waiting for challenges. And that's exactly what she's done. And I mean, it's a heel thing, isn't it? Chelsea Green blames people for a thing.
Yes, yeah.
All the manager, all that sort of stuff, yeah. If it's not a triple threat match itself on this show, it's setting up one for next week. And like, whatever. It's not good booking.
Or a handicap match.
And Bailey needs to find a partner, which could be Naomi's route back into conversation. You have smartly pitched Bailey versus Nia for Clash at the Castle.
Oh my God.
Sorry, you wouldn't be facing Nia, would she, at Clash at the Castle? That wouldn't be that you wouldn't put that on the poster, would you? What would you put?
Bailey versus
Queen Nia!
I would say so.
Good. Queen Nia! I don't know why.
So workshopping this, and you have Friday Night SmackDown is now English.
Queen Nia!
Again, please. Titus O'Neil, isn't it?
Always got to keep him in our thoughts. Love that guy.
So you're not. If and when she wins, I think that's when the.
Yeah, well, I'll be working on. That's why I've got the 4-day weekend. Oh God, yeah, admin. Sorry, everybody. Quickly, due to the unique way that Britain works, it's a bank holiday on Monday, which means we won't be here to do all the usual Fallout coverage. So. The plan right now, if I remember rightly, Nicholas, is, usual events will continue to take place, i.e. Tuesday, when we're properly back, we'll have a Raw review, we'll have an NXT preview, and then Wednesday we'll have an NXT review and a Dynamite preview.
Yeah.
But, because there's also 2 big shows over the weekend.
No, 3, because the SmackDown... King, Queen of the Ring, and Double or Nothing.
Forgot about
Come on.
I forgot about the little engine that could. We will.
We're out wankers, aren't we? Come on, dickheads.
We will do the King and Queen of the Ring review on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the Double or Nothing review on the Wednesday ahead of Dynamite. It's all going to be a bit topsy-turvy because Raw will have already happened, but stick with us. Apologies.
It is bad news the way we see it, but there is some good news. Yeah, the bank holiday, there's a bit of a glut of bank holidays around this time of year here in the UK, but there is not one that I'm aware of on Monday, June the 8th, which is good because that means we can donate our usual full coverage to NXT's next PLE.
Also, Monday, June the 8th doesn't exist, but
Ninth?
okay. Keep going. There we go.
Monday, June the 10th is not
Yes.
a bank holiday, which means we can do our regular PLE coverage of the next NXT Super Show. Just put me in mind of it when I was thinking of Bailey
Son
and
of a
Nia.
bitch.
But what it hasn't put me in mind of is the name of the show. I can't remember it.
That would be NXT Battleground. Sorry, Mike. I've got the dog tag today. You grounded! Battlegrounded! Please, Mom! You're a winner. Ding, 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 ding.
Thanks very much.
Sorry.
Where's that taking place?
Apex.
That's Las Vegas, Nevada, isn't it? It's
Ow. Is that all right?
just down the road from the beautiful Oyo Hotel and Casino.
Right.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan looking to complete her revenge tour. Will she be successful?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes. It's not as predictable as it might seem because Triple H likes himself a long story and Liv losing only sort of fuels her anger and then they have one more match and Liv gets it done the next time. So that's not, I'd think, totally out of the question. But what has been interesting is Becky Lynch is going to re-sign, right? Let's cut to the chase. She's going to re-sign, but she's added it to her.
She probably already has, yeah.
Yeah, she's added it to her promos of late that I don't know how long I'm going to be here. You know,
If when I eventually leave this place, I want to leave it better than when I came in.
all that kind of stuff. So Liv Morgan winning here allows you to play with that a little bit. And if you are going to do another match between the two, maybe it becomes a rematch where Becky's sort of fighting not just for a title, but fighting for a very future, all that kind of thing, you know? Liv winning the belt now gives you the time. What we're thinking about here is not necessarily this match, but we're thinking about Liv Morgan's story arc at present. This revenge tour, this infiltration of the Judgment Day in Rhea Ripley's absence, which in character is part of her plan because part of her plan was to get Rhea Ripley out of the way by some method, and she's done that. So all of this feels like it's building to something huge between Morgan and Ripley down the line. SummerSlam, perhaps, if Ripley's fit by then.
Fingers crossed.
So, yeah, I think Liv Morgan winning the title now helps that because you can then move on to, like, they might have another Becky rematch or something, but ultimately you move on to Liv Morgan's status as champion. You've got time to sort of get her feeling like she belongs in this spot. What's going on with the like crumbling fibre of the Judgment Day? You've got Damian Priest already not really liking things, let alone with Liv Morgan having her clandestine meetings with Dominic Mysterio and the car chat with Finn Balor and the like. I think she needs as much time as possible as champion to legitimise this Rhea Ripley thing. Because otherwise, will you not just have Rhea Ripley return and just squash her in seconds? Angry that she got injured, better than her in the ring. Like, you need time with Liv Morgan the belt. So I think she wins. And then you can do this thing about Becky and Lyra having to bounce back together.
Yeah.
Like a couple of Alan Partridges.
I was just trying to think of
bird?
whether or not they can
Partridge
start.
bird, no.
Yeah. When they start leaning into, has Becky lost it when the lights shine brightest? But then I remember she won the Elimination Chamber, so it doesn't really work that, does it?
It's probably, yeah, forget that.
She's on a real downward spiral since March, basically.
She's not bad for Money in the Bank, Becky Lynch.
Tiff for me.
No, I don't mean to win it. I just mean she's got good form in
like
Money in the
that.
Bank matches. Like, if you think of some of her actual individual performances, remember the one, so obviously there was the class ones in 2017 when they did the Screwy Ellsworth thing. So you got two pretty great matches off it. But remember the one as a heel when she was like, it's fine, I'm big time back, everything's great, I'm going to get my belt back. And then she failed again. She was great in that environment. So I'd like her in this match as like, is this the last hurrah for me? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that could be
She'd
nice.
be the sort of talent who can kind of hold, like I say, if you're going to put newer talents in there, like a Lyra Valkyria, for example, having her in it as well, just holds it all together. Really experienced head. I don't know what the finish is for this match. Is it cheating?
It'd be nice if it was the kind of, if not cheating, the sort of thing where it's like a dirty tactic, that sort of thing. You know, like Becky's not carrying any kind of obvious injury, but they've almost gone, I was going to say flown too close to the sun. They've almost made Becky Lynch not taking Liv Morgan seriously a little thing underpinning all of this. Like, so I wonder if they're going to use that slightly. I wonder if Becky Lynch is going to assume that because she's beaten Liv Morgan in matches before.
Liv Morgan's never beaten her, right?
Yeah, she said like...
So in a fair fight, Liv Morgan would think, I'm going to lose.
Yeah. So the idea that like Becky doesn't see this extra tactic because Liv Morgan's upped her game on this revenge tour. She's now, like she left her to get beaten up by Damage Control, all that sort of thing. There's not a wounded body part, but that doesn't mean that like what's happened here is that Becky Lynch has been a little bit naive perhaps, or a little bit like she should know better. And then Liv Morgan's able to like, even something as simple as pulling the tights and holding the ropes. I know that's really played out now, but just a real cheap way to get it done. I wouldn't hate that. 2 feet on the rope in the corner, something like that. She goes for, like she slides a couple of chairs in the ring, for example, or the chair and the belt in the ring, and the referee's distracted, and Becky isn't really worried about the oblivion because she knows that she survived it before. As the referee deals with one chair, Liv oblivions her onto a second one.
Oh,
so
good. I like that.
More of a super finisher.
Yeah.
It's like Becky has scouted that move in the past, but she couldn't have considered that Liv will now like use any means to get the title.
Really, really like that, actually.
Yeah.
Before we get to the formerly champion versus champion, now just undisputed WWE Championship match, we've got a triple threat for the IC title, Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable, and I will note that Wikipedia at least says Chad Gable with Otis versus Bronson Reed. Is now the time for the Chad Gable finally winning the IC title story, or is this going to be the final segment of Alpha Academy being a thing with the current members that it's got?
I want it to be that one.
I agree. I want Chad Gable to be IC champion more than most things, but I'm also aware you've got plenty of time for that, and you know you can still free Sami Zayn up to win Money in the Bank if he loses it at Clash at the Castle.
That segment on Raw where Sami Zayn forgave Otis for turning was conditionally brilliant, because if this, like Sami Zayn dropping into Otis, I've been in your shoes, mate. That reminds me of a situation I found myself in not that long ago, and the only way to get out of it was to get out of it. You've got to be bold and brave and do the right thing. And I thought it was such a great character moment from Sami Zayn. And when Sami is already, in Chad's mind, taken so much from him just by being Intercontinental Champion, by taking away the moments with his family, all the stuff that sent Chad Gable off the deep end over the last few months, if he's already done all of that, and then his words of wisdom end up taking Otis from him, and Otis does the right thing. And I don't even want him to like smash Chad Gable in the face. I want him to just reject interference. Like Chad's like, come on, get him now, and then he just walks away. Huge pep. Sami Zayn gets the win, something like that.
So Sami would pin Bronson?
Yeah.
Whilst Chad's busy himself, like, where are you going?
Yeah, what are you doing? Come back. What are you doing, you fat idiot? Just like cruelty stuff, you know? And Otis, I'm not going to take that anymore. And then that gets you to Raw. And then the fix is in, and the Creed kick is ace, and it's brutal, and it's cruel.
Yes, we're not going to get a chance to preview that, but I really like the idea of, it's okay, Otis, I forgive you. Oh, maybe Chad, you know what? Despite everything you've said previously, Chad Gable.
Hey, you all right?
It's not a problem, Otis, because don't worry, the Alpha Academy is going to live on. It's just without you three losers in it.
Do you know what the best
then
bit of that
the Creed brothers come in.
Like, this sounds like I'm just lying for a podcast, but I genuinely mean this. I would want to know whose side Ivy Niles on. I think that is quite a nice, earnest little friendship Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree have built, and this little kinship between this, like this. Well, they use like Pitbull, don't they? But like she's this little Spitfire, arse-kicking NXT call-up versus somebody that can't really Does she join the Creeds and just brutalise her? Or she's like, come on, leave it.
I do like that as like a 3-person upgrade.
This is it, right? That's the new Alpha Academy, yeah. Ivy Nile included. Like, I think they should lean on that because they've built this friendship between Ivy and Maxine. So, it's, and the Intercontinental title is a vehicle for that.
The IC title is going to be mine. Diamond mine.
All right. You can have it.
Yeah, I think Bronson's there to take the fall. Sammy's there to win the match. Or Sammy's there to be the champion, but also to retain. We take this to Clash at the Castle, where that's going to get heat out the ass if Chad Gable beats him there.
Yeah, I think he does. I like this. I feel like this Gable run has, like, not veered off course. That it feels like they're telling a story, but the heat isn't there the way it was when he did that German out of the hug that Sammy and his wife. And I think you just need to get back to that. So
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Time again. Chad Gable doesn't know how to be a heel. He's snapped, but he's been such a good guy for so long. He's like, whoa, that's part of his character. And then he's realised, he sat there and gone, right, well, how do I be a heel? You have lackeys. These are all a bunch of losers. When I'm a heel, I just kick ass and just chuck people around. Who else does that? Oh, those three big bastards. Yes. I think that's part of it.
Yeah, this is it. I don't think that...
Chad Gable's got to learn how to become a real house, basically.
He thinks he's bringing them in because he can help them, but what happens is they start helping him. Yeah. No, it's not that they haven't been telling a story. I just don't think it's been quite where it was around WrestleMania. People don't feel like the feeling
head
it as
shake
much.
was the epitome. I'm not having this.
Yeah.
Not having this.
Yeah.
And now, I'm just so excited for that as a potential group.
And it does feel like it's where it's going, which is pretty cool. It's nice to sort of speculate and fantasy book around things like title matches, especially when there's a Bronson Reed in there who can take the pin. Sorry, Bronson.
Yeah, sorry, Bronson. Okay. Right, let's talk about it then. Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. The undisputed WWE Championship, the only title on the line, unfortunately, here. I'll admit that it's very annoying that they bait and switched it, although I do understand that it would have complicated matters having Cody hold that belt because you're going to have to take that off him as well, and do you do that prior to him losing the world title afterwards? It just all muddies the waters a little bit, and, I don't want to say WWE needs to bring in more titles, but if you put a couple on one person, then that title picture gets even smaller. But look, Logan Paul has done this before in Saudi.
Yeah.
Can he shock Cody Rhodes?
A title match with an obvious winner and an obvious loser on a Saturday. What is this collision? I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't like it. I think the match...
This is going to be, 5 stars.
I'd love it if it was.
I genuinely think it is.
The new 5. I imagine Cody getting 2 in a row. Back-to-back PLE.
Of course,
5 stars, I think it could be great. I do. They will have...
Pyro, let alone everything else.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the match, whatever. Like, Cody wins. Logan Paul does that. What's that move he's invented? That he's on the apron.
Oh, I call it because he's so fast.
Yeah.
It's like a buckshot, but then he hits a lariat. So I call it the buckshot lariat. He's the best person to do it.
I like that. You should trademark that. So he does that, and Cody ducks it and runs the ropes and hits him with a cutter on the bounce back, that sort of thing. There's a spot that they'll be constructing. It'll be substantially better than the Cody and Carmelo Hayes one, quite honestly.
Yes.
But Cody will be looking for something that gives people a similar kind of feeling that the Roman match, springboard into the Superman punch.
Oh my God.
I might have to watch that again before this.
That's what they're chasing. And that's what they should be chasing as well, by the way, because that's still the peak. I like this Logan Paul run. I am wary that it's magnificence is becoming slightly overstated, because have we seen anything quite as good as that since? That was late 2022.
Yes.
And I've liked Logan Paul's matches. The prime bottle spot at WrestleMania 39 with Seth.
Oh my God.
Was as great as it was because of how the engineering of it, basically. The phone while he was doing it, the timing of Seth and KSI. But otherwise, as just an honest to God match, has anything quite yet hit the heights of the Roman one?
I liked the Orton Owens match at Mania 40.
I liked it.
God.
I liked it too. But Logan Paul has still been spoken of as this guy he just doesn't miss. He's got his 100% hit rate. He doesn't. But I'd love to see him hit that again, that height with Cody Rhodes. I think it would help Cody. There's an article that's going to be going on whatculture.com/WWE soon about my feelings that the big error they're making with Cody is that he's even on SmackDown at all. I don't think there's a laundry list of opponents like there is from on Raw. I don't think he feels as big when he can't have 10 minutes in the middle to just start
his biggest show. That's the counter argument.
He can start one of his like trademark speeches with something like, I don't know.
Oh, you get, I don't want to talk about it. Sorry. He'd come out to the ring, Nicholas. Thank you for asking. And he'd say, "What do you guys want to talk about?"
It's barely underwater.
Right, I got two.
He's from Atlantis, Georgia.
I've got two pitches for this. I think Logan Paul's going to get a great near fall out of this.
Okay.
I do genuinely think there's going to be a bit where I go, Logan's going to win the world title here. And they'll drop it back to Cody or whatever.
Yeah.
But my brain will do like the 3-month booking schedule in the time it takes the referee to count 2.9, basically.
Yeah.
Two options. Well, I think he'll probably get a kick out of either like just the metal hand punch or the brass knucks punch, maybe. I also really like, to circle back to something we had earlier, him going, I'm going to hit him with the brass knucks, and the referee being like, I'm not an idiot. I've seen you do that in all your matches. Give him here, right? Takes them away from him. He's busy going, come on, ref, right, like that.
The worldwide ref.
Twist ending. That's the battleground, says Logan Paul.
Right.
Fast, right? But
Deep law.
he's busy with everything. Come on, ref. And the prime bottle, boom, nails him in the face. And what's it called? Porthole? The thing opens, and it's Jake Paul, the boxing star.
Yep.
And that's like a near fall.
Imagine like it's Mike Tyson in the prime bottle, but it gives it away because he's walking down the ring and you see the little blue arms doing that.
Wait a second.
Hey, hold on.
Alternative pitch. All the goobers do that to get the ref. And he's got the brass knucks.
Yep.
Because, you know, he loads like he's swinging from back here. Mm-hmm. Cody gets up, he's dazed or whatever, goes to do it. Wait a second. Turns around. Pharaoh's biting the brass knucks so he can't swing with them.
Pharaoh getting on the plane to Saudi.
Yeah.
To work a pay-per-view when historically that man has
Pay-per-view, by the way, covered in pyro.
I was going to say that dog has not done well around this much pyro in the past.
Maybe the first pitch rather than the second one.
That little was nearly barbecued it all out. Two pitches. I've got a couple.
Go on.
That's all right. Couple of spots. Cody poos his pants.
For Christ's sake.
Second pitch. That's the whole spot.
Yeah.
The second pitch is Logan Paul comes out with it's probably only temporary or henna or whatever, a prime bottleneck tattoo.
Oh my God.
Because he said he wanted to beat
Missed
him.
spot as well with Cody with the prime.
Oh,
face.
yes, I like that.
And instead of being like, he's like, that's delicious. You should give it to your kids.
No. We can finally get another bit of LTST, strictly for this podcast, which LTST in itself is a bit of LTST. I'm so sorry. Like when he was feuding with Nakamura and you were desperate for him to somehow have 3 myths at the same time that were red, white, and blue.
Yes.
You can spit that popsicle flavoured prime.
Yes.
Which is red, white, and blue.
They've got the Cody themed one, haven't they? Yeah.
You can spit that in Logan's face.
Oh my God.
Fair's fair. All's fair in love and war. Turnabout's fair play. I'd never understood those.
Prime only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, exactly.
Completed it.
Well, there we have it. Let us know your thoughts ahead of SmackDown.
How about you wrap this up as if like, well, what could you have asked?
Yes, Cody retains, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts ahead of SmackDown and King and the Queen of the Ring this weekend. As I said, we'll be back on Tuesday to review all this. Apologies in advance of that one. But let us know your thoughts either in the comment section or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Well, actually, you can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. You can follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas, and follow us all, as I said, at WhatCulture WWE. Subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcast from for daily wrestling podcasts. But for now, this has been the SmackDown / King and Queen of the Ring preview. Obviously talking about the semi-finals, Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga. The winner going on to face Gunther to see who will be crowned King of the Ring. You've got Nia Jax, soon to be Queen Nia versus Bianca Belair to see who faces Bird Person in the final of Queen of the Ring. As well as that, on Saturday night, of course, you will have Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan, Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed for the IC title, and Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul for the Undisputed Championship.
The SmackDown and King and Queen of the Wing podcast. It's got all this and so much more.
We'll see you soon.
So much.